Reform UK leader Nigel Farage has said that he wants to make it easier for people to have children. He pledged his party will offer tax breaks for married couples and scrap the two-child benefit cap as a way of tackling Britain's plummeting birth rate. And in their manifesto last year, Reform claimed that the majority of mothers would choose to stay at home more if they could. Do you think that's true, Jane? Would that surprise you that he says that more women actually want to stay at home if they...
I don't... Well, I suppose more than currently do, because a lot can't because they can't afford to, because they need the salary to pay the bills and the mortgage and whatever, or contribute. Would more stay at home? Yes, probably. I'm not sure if it would be the majority, though. I think that's a little bit off kilter. But, you know, he's doing very well in the polls, the Reform Party. He's, you know, his natural bedfellow would be Tory voters who are, you know, wavering over in his direction. They don't feel that the Tories have given them much in the last 14 years. I think now he's going after the Labour voters. He's already forced, some might argue, Sir Keir Starmer into a couple of U-turns. Yeah. Winter fuel, child cap is potentially being scrapped. So, yeah, he's having a bit of a field day. But all I will say is that he's making an awful lot of promises and it's going to cost billions, and there doesn't seem to be much of an indication about where those billions are going to come from. There is no magic money tree, so, you know...
It's whether they can put it into practice, Janet. But I think, there is an issue with... You know, there are women, as we know, because we've discussed it on this show many times, who say, actually, I would quite like to stay at home, or I would like to have another child, but we can't afford it. And they're saying the birth rate is dropping, therefore the workforce is in danger in years to come. So, you know, should there be incentives for women to be able to go back to work?
Well, one of the biggest incentives must be that childcare should be affordable for all. And I think a good example is to look at the Scandinavian countries. In this country, our childcare costs are amongst the highest in the whole world. We're ranked in the top 5. But if you look at all the Scandinavian countries, they've got something which they call childcare infrastructure. So they've got a tax system, a pension system, a very strong unions. Everything is designed so that a woman has a true choice whether if she has a child, if she wants to go back to work, it's going to be possible for as many women as possible. And in the Scandinavian countries, if you're a single woman, you're going to get far more benefits and far more support than couples. But it's true to say it is subsidised, but these countries, Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Finland and so on, subsidise up to 85% of childcare costs. And not only that, they provide nurseries, kindergartens and after-school care, all of which are subsidised if you want to use them. And that has resulted in more women going back to work and more women reaching higher levels in the world of work than in...
Of course, the only thing that they're... because, I mean, Sweden alone is only 10 million people.
Yes.
And England alone is, what, 57 million?
Yeah, but nevertheless, it was a political decision for all those countries. Yeah. And what we've got in this country is a piecemeal approach where if you want to have a child, where are you going to get the money that will make that a little bit easier from? You've got to kind of shop around. And not surprisingly, more and more young people say, I can't afford kids, I can't afford somewhere to live and I can't afford to have
and that's depressing, Colin, isn't it, for so many young people?
It's really hard for young people as well, but equally, you know, we've made it a whole thing about women going back to work and encouraging women to go back to work and all of that, and a lot of women are choosing to have children later on in life anyway. But it's all political, isn't it? And I just can't be bothered with that.
I just want to say that, because, you know, I think there's a massive sort of kind of
going on and on.
Disregard of what it does to a woman's life when they sort of stop to have a baby and, you know, physically, and what happens with the career or whatever. But there's a wonderful clip online, if anybody gets a chance to see it, where a male interviewer is interviewing a young woman and he goes, you know, who's done more, women or men? And she's like, oh, women. And he goes, well, who was first on the moon? Well, a man. Who invented the light bulb? Well, a man. Who invented, I don't know, electricity? A man. And then she goes, yeah, fair enough. She said, but a woman gave birth to all of them. Yeah.
Very good.
Very good. Very good indeed. OK, still kind of with politics, but in France, because the French government... No, don't worry, Carl. No, it's not that kind of politics. Because the French government are talking about banning adult-only hotels, campsites and restaurants. This is in a plan to crack down on the no kids movement, they're calling it. The French High Commissioner for Childhood said those who complain about noisy children, Janet, were spreading the idea that children are a nuisance. I mean, who knew? What do you think? Adult-only spaces, you know, hotels. I choose to go to adult-only hotels for my holidays now.
Now that my children are grown up and, you know, I'm going on holiday with Kira soon and we were looking at adult-only hotels because I've had those holidays with my kids where they're, you know, dive bombing into the pool and splashing everyone around them and things like that. Or, I want lunch, I want this. And you think, oh, it'd be just nice to go away now. So I hate the word ban. We love the word ban, don't we? So if you don't want to be surrounded by children, then I think that's absolutely fine for you to go on an adult-only holiday. But equally, if you choose to go to a hotel that isn't adult-only, then you have to expect there's kids there and parents there who are equally on holiday and all having a great time. And if you don't like it, off you pop.
Janet, they're saying this is because there's a mounting intolerance towards children.
And you're looking at me. I think that if you've worked really hard, you've saved your money up, regardless of whether you've had children or not had children, you can choose to go to a hotel or a restaurant, for that matter, that doesn't allow children, that has rules about access to children, so that you get some of your time child-free. If I go out for a meal after 7 o'clock in the evening, I'm not very happy if I'm in quite a nice restaurant. There's a load of screaming kids running around the table.
No, but if you're out and you see kids being loud or whatever, or being naughty, but you see the parents doing their best, like to chastise them, make them sit down or whatever, do you forgive it in that way, or is it parents that just let them run riot that you can't stand? Because there is both, isn't there? Or do you just not like kids?
I don't like kids when I'm eating my dinner. That is
true. Would you eat one for dinner?
No, I mean, just moving on, I wouldn't even have... planes are the worst places. I want child-free zones on planes. What's the problem? You've paid extra for your seat, you've got your window seat, and then you see someone coming down the aisle carrying a baby. You think, no,
but
I'm manifesting.
Once, Jana, you were a baby once. Maybe these
I came out fully formed as a...
Maybe these adult-only spaces are to protect children from Janet.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not true. I'm not a child hater.
No, listen, you're not. No, I know you're not. I'm a bit like Janet. I just kind of... I don't know, I have no issue at all with well-behaved kids or, as you said, parents who are...
doing their best.
Just like going, oh, God, you know... Blah, blah. And this, obviously, is children without special needs or anything that we're talking about here, just kids that are just running wild. And I do think, you know, I don't want to sit by a pool, but, I mean, maybe you can just go to a... There are a lot of hotels where they have kids in the hotel, but they have an adult-only pool.
Yeah.
So you can sort of sit...
But you can still hear all the racket.
No, but I like hearing kids being happy and playing. I like that. But if they're shrieking constantly...
Oh, no, but there's a very fine
line. Then I move to the other area.
Them? There's something for everybody, you know? When we used to take Jack and the kids when they were young, we purposely chose busy family hotels, kids' clubs, things, music, and now I don't have to do that.
Constantly trying to get him to make friends.
Make friends, so Mummy can lie on the Sunlander. But, you know, now I don't have to do that. He's grown up. I choose to go to an adult-only, no kids under 16. I think there's room for everything, all this banning. We asked you, actually, would you prefer to stay at an adult-only hotel? 84% of our Loose Women audience said yes, they would. 16 no.
There you are.